In today's video, what are we talking about? I don't remember.
We were talking about these different decks that we just can't seem to remember.
See what I did there? These are decks that came out and it's almost like you just don't remember what happened to them.
And we're not saying these are bad decks. We're just saying they're not memorable. Paul, do you remember Chronomaly?
I vaguely do. You guys are gonna have to bear with us in this video because as you can see, these aren't things we know a lot about. I remember them being an Xyz deck. They were light monsters.
Weren't they like based off of like historic like buildings?
The one thing I remember the most about Chronomaly was people saying that it would be good eventually. They never would say when, they never would say how. They would just be like, yeah, there's this card that's coming out, the OCG has it, and once we get it, this deck is gonna be busted.
It'll be nuts.
And like, I think it was Nebradisk, right?
Mm-hmm. It was Nebra, the little smiley face.
And then Nebradisk finally comes along in World Superstars. And that's like the last I heard of the deck.
I don't even know if anyone played it once Nebradisk came out. I didn't hear anything about it.
See, the thing is, it was like an Xyz deck. So other decks did that better. Fire Fist, Madolche, and Windups, and like...
And they didn't have to wait on a monster that may or may
one
not
random
happen.
support card. Deck number 2 is Evil Tiles. What do you know about Evil Swords? What do you remember just offhand about?
Lagi and Doka.
They don't count. See, the Evil Tiles were this deck of little reptiles, and they turned into dinosaurs. Like the reptiles' effects would summon the dinosaurs. And the dinosaurs could Xyz summon to make dragons, like Lagi and Doka.
Whoa, hold the record. Wait a minute. Lagi and Doka were dragons?
Yes, and it's like evolution, because they go from small reptiles to dinosaurs, and then the fantasy begins, and it's...
I was about to say, because I was looking out the window, and I don't see any dinosaurs out there. I mean, dragons out there.
It's an Xyz deck, is the point. It didn't do it very well. It wasn't a tournament meta thing.
Lagi and Doka were?
Lagi and Doka were good.
Dino Rabbit. Wait a minute. If Lagi and Doka are dragons, why was it called Dino Rabbit?
That's where this is all gets sad, because it's like, no one remembers Evils for what they were.
Yeah.
Evils didn't get to...
I don't even know any except for those two. Wasn't there a third Xyz?
Solda. It was rank 6.
Fables.
I do remember Fables.
I've seen some of them. And what? They were light fiends?
Not light fairies, right?
They synchro summoned.
They synchro summoned. They think that they were about not having cards in hand.
Inferi?
You discarded them and they got effects.
BA.
Point is, they did synchro summon. It was one of those decks like Chronomaly where people were like, this deck's gonna get really good soon. This thing's gonna come out. Hold on to your Fabled stuff.
I remember a Fabled card. It's like a little imp thing and it's small.
The Fabled Chiwin, Obedient Schooled came out. Because on the art of Obedient Schooled, one of those little Fabled things is on it.
Oh.
Oh, so maybe they
weren't like fiends.
The next deck is Gimmick Puppets.
Hey, I remember the Xyz Giant Grinder.
True.
Ooh, Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Unsummonable.
Leo of strings.
No, that was a different one. Oh, I had them. I had those. Okay, there was Leo. He was a big, almost unsummonable monster.
Knows what these things are.
And then there was the Gimmick Puppet of Strings, which had this weird effect where it put string counters and everything. It would blow them all up. I don't know.
I know that they were one of those like creepy zombie undead, but they weren't actually zombies, right?
They were machines. They were machines. That's the only reason I know about them. Because I played them in Super Defense Robos, which probably should have made this list. They were machines. And I only use the Xyz. I have no idea about the main deck. They weren't good. Can you tell me more about Hazy Flames?
No.
I know Sphinx. I've seen it. I don't know what it does.
I think they had an Xyz.
It was a common. We pulled thousands of them.
I thought they were rares. Am I thinking of something else?
Maybe they were rare.
They were fire monsters.
Uh-huh.
They did something. Like, I do know that they did. Like, they had a gimmick.
Every deck does something.
Like, they were level 6 or 5. And they had Xyz. No, I mean, but this is important because like their Xyz were not rank 4. They were like rank 5 or rank 6s. They had effects that helped them out. I think that one of their Xyz couldn't be targeted.
They were a deck people were hyped for. And
were they?
I remember people at regionals talking about Hazy Flames.
I think you're mixing it up with like the Fire Fist.
I'm telling you, people really thought Hazy Flames were gonna be alright. Oh shit.
Should have been their password.
Might be.
Well, anyway, that's what Hazy Flames did.
Whatever we
said. Heraldics.
Heraldics did a thing.
I kind of remember them more than some of the stuff on this list.
Oh, thank God.
What do you remember? Hey, wait, remember on Wygo Pro, they're one of the AI decks. So you probably faced it like a few times.
This is awkward.
I know that they were one of the earlier, like, Dexel, Xyz.
I don't remember them because I always had them confused with Heretics.
Yeah, that is true.
You got to carry this one. I have no idea.
They Xyz summoned.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know much past that. They had some, like, kind of floaty effect. They had a spell that summoned some back, I think.
Oh, they had a monster.
Like a monster
reborn
reborn type of thing? I mean, I don't know.
This list is getting painful. On to, okay, something we're a bit more familiar with. Steel Swarm. Something I kind of remember.
I don't as much. They came from a hidden arsenal. I feel like this whole list could have been hidden arsenal.
But you remember Steel Swarm? They were the insects and they equipped to each other and they...
I think that's Insectors. Steel Swarms did something. I remember they had a small one.
They were an anti-meta deck and they were all like level 4.
That's evil swarms. But they were a type of swarms. They were an L swarm.
I feel like they've made this overly complicated.
I just remember not wanting to pull them.
Dang.
Does that mean?
On the bright side, I don't think anybody was hyped about Steel Swarm. I don't think anyone even talks about Steel Swarm.
Termends!
This is killing me. Wait, I do remember them. They were the Earth deck that had a bunch of field spells?
Field spells, yeah. They had like 3 different field spells, and they were all rock. And I think that to use their effects, you had to like have only rock monsters in your grave or something. Or maybe that's something different.
It might have been how they played. All I remember was some of their field spells were decent for like a Kwakimaru Rock Stun deck. How do I remember Kwakimaru with none of these other decks?
The next deck is actually, there's 11 on this list.
So, Nordics.
Nordics.
This should
One
be
of the more memorable ones.
Thor,
Loki, and Odin.
Yeah, Thor, Loki, and Odin.
They were just like, they were in the show.
Oh, I didn't watch the show. Luckily, I had just gotten back into Yu-Gi-Oh! When Nordics would come out. I had quite a few friends who played them, so I actually remember Nordics very well. They were a weird archetype where you couldn't play all of the monsters in one deck. You had to pick.
Yeah, because they were really weird. Like some had effects that just didn't feel like they had anything to do with the archetype.
Because the archetype was divided into sub-archetypes depending on which one of the Acer monsters you want to summon. Basically, you could never make a deck that could summon like all 3, like Thor, Loki, and Odin. Yeah, because the monsters were in sub-archetypes, where certain ones were used to make Thor, certain ones were made to use Loki, some were made to use Odin, and they didn't mix that well, but you could kind of force it.
They had like one that made tokens, and that was like a popular part of the combo.
Yeah, the goat guy.
Yeah, the goat made tokens, and it had a trap that searched their monsters.
I think Odin used beast monsters? No, it was Thor that had the beast monsters, and Loki had some stuff, and I didn't really completely understand what I was playing against back then. But anytime, like, who was it that hit the field the most? I want to say
there was one that
Thor
didn't die
Odin.
a lot. Like, there's probably all of them, but
I remember Thor and Odin the most because those are the ones that got summoned the most on me. Woo!
Karakuri,
Burrito. That's all I got.
They were machines.
Yep, and that's the only reason I really remember anything about them.
They're one of those machine archetypes that like didn't really like play nice with the other machines.
Geargia was the first machine archetype that could play with them.
I think you're thinking of Machina.
I want to
maybe
because that was also around the time I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had one buddy who we both played machine decks. I played gadgets, he played Karakuri. We always played against each other. Geargia came out. I think we both tried to mix Geargia with our decks. We were both crazy. We should have just built pure Geargia. You
could make a lot of like fast synchros, and then they would use like desynchro and stuff. Wait, changing battle positions.
Yeah, that's what they did. That was one of the main things.
And when they would switch, they would get effects.
Yep. I don't really know like how high the ceiling was on that deck. I just remember spamming out a bunch of Karakuri Synchro monsters. There was Burrito. There was
Bure and Burrito.
Yeah, there was Burrito, and I think there was like a female one. I don't know how you make a female monster, a machine monster. Were they machines? They're made of wood. Can you have a wooden machine? Answer that question.
They were like puppets, like or something like that. I don't know. The last one that's not supposed to actually be on this list, but whatever.
Who made it on the list like that?
Is Amorphages.
Woo!
It's like you almost remember they exist. It's just that like they didn't actually get to do anything.
In practice, Amorphages were so hard to use.
It was really slow.
Because they came out early in the Pendulum days, right? Or maybe kind of...
No, it was kind of late.
Was it late?
Like it was maybe around like, maybe this time last year?
Oh wait, you're right. It was late because I remember I used Goliath in...
Using like Red Eyes. I used it in Blue Eyes. People would side it.
Goliath was the only one who could really who had a general enough effect that you could just kind of put him in other dragon decks.
Now the rest of them all had effects like that. Like your opponent can't use spells or like traps or things like that. But I think that their pendulum effects required you to tribute one of your monsters every standby phase or in phase, and so like because of that, you could never really like amass enough field presence.
What was that structure deck?
Felgrand.
Yeah. So he played well with Felgrand.
So yeah, those are our 11 forgotten archetypes. This was a fun video to think of, actually.
Yeah, because we had nothing really to think of. We didn't remember these decks. Look, we want to make this perfectly clear. We're not bashing these decks. If any of these are your favorite decks, please remind us what those decks do in the comments.
Remind us what they do.
You know what? Better yet, if you remind us what these decks do, I will endeavor to build as many of them as I can and include them in our fun duels.
What decks do you remember that everyone else forgot? You know? Things like that. I think that's the best way I can put it, because I don't want to ask the viewers like, remember the things you forgot, because that's
a difficult thing to do.
So yeah, that's the vid. Hope you guys liked it. Remember, give us a thumbs if you did, subscribe if you really enjoyed it, and also check out our fun duel. It was actually the two of us dueling last time. I know it's gotten some positive reception.
It was what Amazoness versus
Dark Lords. We're gonna try to do that every week, so if you guys liked it,
Amazons versus Dark Lords every week. Shout out to the squad at the end of the video. You had to get here to hear it.
It's been a while, actually. It's been a minute. Talked to you guys.
But we're gonna be here.
Thank you to the loyal people who did stick around. The squad people.
You know who you are.
You'll get a screen.
They'll be saying squad in the.
So that's it for the vid. Hope you guys liked it. Think that's all we have to say. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.